Hi there, welcome to my channel. For those who haven't already, please hit the like button and subscribe. And for those who have already, please hit the like button. And yeah, somebody asked me to make them a screen door, okay? And I wasn't sure how I was going to go about it, but I'll draw it on the board and I'll show you what it's going to look like, okay? These are the dimensions, and I'm making it out of spruce. It's going to be painted. Pine might be a better one, not sure. It all depends on the quality of the spruce, I guess. You could even make it out of cedar, but I'd be afraid that cedar would warp. Whatever you make, it's got to be primed and sealed right away if you don't want the wood to warp on it. Okay? So when you're sneaking up on a measurement, if you're taking, you wanted something 3 wide and you want to make sure that it's straight, you might as well take go to 3 3/4 or 3 3/8 and see if the wood bowed. If it bowed, you may have to machine it from side to side to bring it down to the dimension you want. Alright, so this is going to be the panel. Suspicious lumber here. I don't know how far in that goes. 30 or more. It's more than 30. Try to shoot some glue in there. Since this is painted, it really doesn't matter, right? But so I like this on this side. This. So I'm gonna do it like this, and I'm gonna put this on the top side. So a little revision, or the thickness of that screen door cannot be more than 1 1/8. If it is more, it won't fit in the casing of the door. Okay, it can't be wider than the casing on the door. Okay, and not all casings are equal, but in my case it's 1 1/8. All right. Okay, so I got a pattern that I'm going to be using for the door, and I need 4 of these pieces, and this is about where the pegs are going to be going in that door. Okay, and I thought I was going to get it out of this material, but I only have 3 pieces of 2x6. That's all I have. So I decided that I was going to use this stock here to get my 4 pieces out of it, and the 4 small pieces. So I got to prep those. Alright, so this is the piece, and I gotta send it through the planer, and I gotta bring it down to around 1 inch. 1 inch or 7/8. Okay, I hope it handles the stresses well. I know that my door is 36 wide, but my frame members are 3 inches, so that's 6 inches. So it's actually 30 inches. But I am going to leave, I'm going to be cutting a groove and then putting this piece into it. But I'm going to leave about 3/4 of an inch. So that's 1.5 inches for both. No, 3/4 of an inch both. 3/8, which is about 3/4 of an inch more. If I go 1/2 inch, it's a lot for a little piece of lumber like that. chop saw or the miter saw. Okay, and these my table, when I saw the plywood, it wasn't squared, and that's what I'm seeing here. And I'm getting different lengths of pieces here. if you would like me to purchase a microphone, sometimes you can't hear what the person's doing, right? Or saying. The only thing I don't like about a microphone is, what if you say something you shouldn't? Know what I mean? So that fits in there. That looks pretty. Got a little contrast to it. What I mean by that is, this is 7/8 and this is 1 and there's a 1/4 inch difference in width, so I have 1/8 on either side. So if I hit it bang in the middle, I should have an 1/8 here in the front and 1/8 in the back. Okay, like I said, I want to leave a little meat on there in case they have to take some off. So I've got everything laid down flat, squared. So now I know that I have 1/2 inch, 5 1/4 here. I have 1/2 inch of a groove. So from there, I'm going to go 1 inch. And same over here. And I gotta hit this thing on, which is not gonna be easy. So I'm basically going to be holding this with glue and dowels, right? I was thinking about using screws, but see, that's bottomed out. Oops. See, that's bottomed out. And I mean by that much. So if I load that up with glue, I should be good. So I finished poking the holes, and now what I'm doing is lining up the little decorative dowels that go in the middle of the door. So these have to be the holes have to be poked in the right place, right? And the same depth to give it so you can use the dowels as guides. So I'm going to bring this over to the drill press, and I'm going to be using a Forstner bit, half inch Forstner bit. Right. I'm going to be using this to poke the holes here. So if you're attempting one of these, it should look something like this, right? Okay. My channel, my dowels, my dowel, decorative dowels, and everything lines up, right? So once this is all set, you clamp it flush to the table, and then you squeeze it with the clamps. And don't forget to add glue. So now what I'm doing is prepping these for poking some holes in them. Okay, and these go here. As such. Right. And there's 4 of them. So that's what I'm doing. I'm prepping these up, and I'm going to bring them to the orbital sand or the oscillating sander and smoothing down these edges. I am going to be poking little holes to let me know where to drill, right? I don't have, I'm going to say that. My focus is going to be on this, not on the camera, so. Alright, so I'm done gluing. I got a clamp on either side of those members, and I've got a clamp at the end here. And I'm using tight bond too. The only thing that concerns me a bit, I'm wondering if I didn't get this piece at the end backwards, but the glue's oozing out, so. And these pins have been glued, so I'm hoping it'll hold. Seems to be holding everywhere else. I don't think I'll need any nails like these. This glue is tight like rubber silicone. But see, it's not quite right here and here. It's not quite right. I may have accidentally switched them from end to end. I hope not. I bought myself an oscillating tool. And I went for the corded one, which is contradictory. Most people get the battery powered operated, but I would be charging this thing all the time, and the tool is heavier, and it wasn't practical for what I needed. So need some eye protection. Alright, so I'm in the middle of screening. Okay. You gotta make sure you stretch out the canvas, right? The screen. If not, you get bulky. You get bulk hanging out. Like it always looks better when it's tight, right? Using 1 1/4 deck screws, and I laid this out every 8-inch. I was going to do every 4, but it would have seemed ridiculous. There's just hope that at 8 inches it's enough so the screen doesn't run out on me, like start drifting out.